each other's company. This, for some unavoidable reasons, is not the case for all. The national broadcaster paid a visit to the Serekunda hospital to see how patients and hospital staff are coping with the Grts. For the nurse overseeing duty here, working on a festive occasion like Grts is just normal in view of the demands of their profession. Grts or not, sickness does occur, and so health personnel must be available around the clock to attend to the sick.
Nothing changes in nursing care, as I said, whether Grts or not. So we treat them equally, as if there was no feast. Still, those that need observation, we observe them. Those that need admission, the same thing, and then we admit. And those that are treated as outpatient are sent home to go with their medication and given a distinct appointment when necessary.
It is one of the busiest hospitals in the Greater Banjul area, where one finds a long queue of patients awaiting treatment. But this health facility had a different face at the time of our visit, prompting the question why.
Because of the Grts, because some of them, if they are not very sick, they may try to cope until the feast is over. Because just after Grts, let's say today, late in the evening, you see them coming around. Either very sick because they were trying to enjoy the feast until they can no more cope. Then they come, their relatives bring them.
Patients admitted at the hospital also spoke to the national broadcaster with sadness, saying they would have loved to be at home. This woman couldn't hide her tears, saying this time last year she was with her family celebrating the day, but prayed for God's continuous guidance and good health for them to return to their families. A nurse on duty also echoed her voice, saying they try as much as possible to make the patients comfortable.
Owing to the fact that they're staying here when it's holidays, well, basically all we do is just give them proper care and then try to make them feel comfortable, entertain them whilst they're here by chatting with them. And since it's also part of the nursing care that should be given to patients, so that's all we do.
As the patients receive treatment from their conditions, taxi drivers, on the other hand, were using the day to capitalize on the high demand for transport as more and more travel on social events and visits to loved ones. This taxi driver disclosed that business has been good so far, as he gets more town trips compared to the $8 fare. Unlike the taximen, the scenario is different for van drivers. Now, although they too have been enjoying their own share during the countdown to the Grts, the explanation is that on days like this, people opt for taxis rather than vans. Reporting for Grts News, I am Abdullah Baji.
Following the launch of the Gambia No Plastic Day on May 15, 2013, the National Environment Agency and Banjul City Council have signed a memorandum of understanding on plastic waste management. The signing ceremony, as we hear in this report by Fatou Jassi, saw the presentation of bins for the disposal of plastic waste only.
Plastic in the country for various purposes increases daily, considering the environmental hazards associated with the improper management of plastic waste. The National Environment Agency recently signed an MOU with the Banjul City Council on plastic waste management and presented them with a number of waste bins. Speaking at the presentation ceremony, the Deputy Mayor of Banjul City Council, Awasi Lanjai, hailed the move and called on other institutions to emulate such an intervention. The Deputy Mayor called on Banjulians to adopt more proper measures towards waste management.
As the main problems of municipalities is waste management, and Banjul City Council being no exception, the initiative is most welcome. And we hope the Banjulians will change their behaviors and try to sort out waste. These bins are donated so that the waste can be sorted out. As plastic is is one of the problems of the waste as it doesn't rust. We welcome the initiative and we will sensitize our people to try to use the bins for plastic and shut out waste.
The Senior Program Officer for Environmental Quality at the National Environment Agency, Mohamed Jalun Jabang, applauded the Council for the collaboration while urging them to be collecting plastic waste from the bins and dump them at a location where it would be convenient to be retrieved for recycling in the future. He disclosed that in the not-too-distant future, stakeholders will come up with a recycling machine to reduce the volume of plastic waste in the country. Banjul City Council's Cleansing Service Manager Amadou Fall reminded the gathering of government's stand on the plastic and waste management.
By the government of the Gambia, the President of the Republic, Honorable His Excellency Yahya AJJ Jammeh, to make sure that we phase out plastic. But because other parties were interested in plastic waste, we did not embark on phasing it out. So we sought out solutions, that is to make sure that we try to reduce, if possible, recycle this plastic. That is why we have come up with this. But otherwise, the suggestion was to phase out plastic altogether in the country.
With the signing of this agreement, backed by the active involvement of all the key stakeholders, Madudu Trawale of the NEA was confident that the plastic waste conundrum could soon become a thing of the past. From the presentation ceremony, officials proceeded with a sensitization tour in the streets of Banjul on the usage of the bins for plastic waste only and for people to inculcate the habit of separating the plastic from other waste. For Grts News, I am Fatou Jassi.
Meanwhile, the Department of Agriculture informs the general public that His Excellency the President, Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh, in his benevolence and drive to sustain self-reliant food and nutrition security, has secured mechanization equipment for the agriculture sector. A media release from the Office of the Director General of the Department of Agriculture says the services of the equipment are now available and that request forms can be concluded at the Regional Director's Office in Yundum. Requests for services, according to the dispatch, must not be less than 1 hectare. We'll take our first break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The interception of communication between an al-Qaeda leader and operatives in Yemen is keeping Washington on its toes. The situation has compelled the U.S. to tell its citizens in Yemen to leave, while evacuation of essential government staff has also been ordered. In the midst of this latest development, CNN Storm Foreman reports intercepting terror communication is not that easy.
Leaders in far-flung corners of the earth need to talk with each other. They don't pick up the phone. Security analysts say they jump onto the internet using a complicated chain of computer connections. Although no one knows for sure, this is how they believe it works. The parties meet in a private internet chat room where they are extremely cautious, even shrouding their written communications with each other in encryption software, making it difficult to read what anyone is saying in one of these short meetings. Beyond that, they may even send proxies, deputies in a sense, to actually conduct the conversations so that at any given moment, none of the leaders can actually be connected to each other or to whatever is being orchestrated. But it goes even further. Instructions from top al-Qaeda operatives are believed to sometimes be sent by trusted couriers to internet cafes where they log onto public computers, they encrypt the message as they type it, and then they send it through an email account set up specifically for that one message and no other. And minutes later, the whole trail disappears. Some security analysts say this combination of technology, social media sites, and internet anonymity is the backbone of terrorist communications. And Laith Al-Khoury with Flashpoint Global Partners says it works remarkably well.
I think they allow such groups to flourish. And they certainly give the means for possible lone wolves to communicate with actual group and offer themselves as potential terrorists.
Need proof? Prosecutors say the men accused of the Boston bombings used jihadi websites for inspiration and bomb-building advice. Security analysts say Anwar al-Awlaki